If at first you don't succeed, try and try again. That is a wonderful cliche that in real time is so hard to do. Yeah. So, about the webinar, I tried it again. And this time there were three total registrants. So I am grateful for the three people who paid to participate in something from someone they don't know, but trusted that based off of the title and the description that they would enjoy their time and made a $12.50 investment in it. The content was wonderful. I had a great time presenting it. I think that it was executed so well, so well. However, I'm the only person who thinks that because I was the only person there. So, of the three people who registered, none of them showed up. And a Saturday morning could be the reason why. Maybe it would have had a different outcome, both in participation and registration, if it were a different time of day or day of the week. Maybe in person is what I need to do. Maybe a different platform is where I need to go. I'm not sure. But what I will say is I am proud of myself for going through with it. I presented my workshop as if there were 500 people in the room, although there were none. And that's to be expected for the number of people to register to not be the number of people who attend when there is a low ticket cost, because most of us can't afford to lose out on a couple of bucks here and there. I can imagine it would have been different if people had paid $500 for it. But I can also say that a success in it was one of the ladies who wasn't able to attend emailed me a few hours afterwards to say that she forgot what time it was going to be, but definitely wants to be a part of my next event. So that was cool too. I'm glad that that happened. At the very least, what this could be is a module that I've just created to an online course that at some point I will be able to sell. So it wasn't a complete loss because I did get paid for three registrations. And that might not be a lot right now, but it is a start. And it is the start of every entrepreneur's success story. I don't know anyone who just catapulted into success immediately. They might be there, I just don't know them. But something that I am honestly doing is trying not to associate the outcome with value. I know for a fact that what I have to say is worth hearing. And I know this because of the individual things that I've done with people, the individual work and time that I have had with people. I'm just trying to figure out what this really needs to look like. Okay, what this really needs to look like right now is getting rid of this cat. Hold on. Okay, so this isn't going to be very long. I think that the biggest takeaway for me is not to quit. And that's not easy. I'll be honest with you. When you walk into something with high hopes and yield much differently than the high hopes you walked into it with repeatedly, sometimes you interpret that as data. Sometimes I interpret that as data. I'm finding it difficult to create my own thing, but I have so much success in things that are already created, helping them improve those systems. So there's a part of me that just feels like, well, maybe that's what I need to be doing, working. I associate that with even with my personal life. I do find it difficult to find success and longevity in romantic relationships, but I have 30-year friendships. So maybe that's what I'm supposed to be doing, being people's friend. But is that really what I want? So, what am I saying is not to associate a person, a situation, a circumstance to your value. And that's easy to say, it's harder to do. And that's what I'm having to do in this moment. I have to know in my knowing of knowingness that what I have to offer is valuable to the audience that needs it. And the likelihood of me running into the audience that doesn't is great because of the number of people there are in the world. And so if I just happen to keep running into the wrong audience, then I get this feedback. And if I keep going about it with the wrong processes, then I also keep finding the wrong audience and yielding these results that dwindle at my motivation to keep trying. And while we hear a lot of people say, I take rejection hard, I don't know anybody who really just takes it easy. Maybe some people mask it better, but no one likes rejection. I don't know anybody who wakes up saying, I hope that everything I encounter fails. Like, no one says that. So rejection is hard for everybody, but we are all having to navigate it. And I think that one of the things that is going to help me in this process is taking the feedback from that rejection as something that I can work on. I like to liken it to the dollar that keeps getting spit out from the vending machine because of the excessive wrinkles. That does not diminish the value of the dollar. Two things can be taken from that. One being the apparatus has a need for the dollar to present in a certain way in order for it to be able to read it. The other thing is that the dollar needs to be straightened out. That's the truth, right? So quit crumbling your dollars in your pocket and expecting everybody to accept that. Again, the value of the dollar has not diminished, but the places the dollar can go are now limited because of how the dollar presents. So there is something that I can take away from that. That doesn't mean I'm going to walk around here thinking that I'm perfect and it's just these people who don't see it. No, there are some wrinkles that I have to iron out. It doesn't speak to my value, however. I am not going to cause myself to believe that I'm not qualified to do this. I am not going to internalize this as I am unlikable, unlovable, or whatever that sometimes we cause ourselves to believe when disappointment happens. What this means is I just have to figure it out. And I'm going to allow for myself what I provide for others, which is humanness and the opportunity to grow in it. Because for every day that I wake up, there is something that I can do better than the day before. And there is a person that I am becoming that did not exist before. And that's where I am. That's where I am in every facet of my life. So, try and try again, but maybe not try it exactly the same way you tried it before. Maybe figure out some ways to tweak it so that way when you try again, you get some different results and you learn some different lessons and you keep going.